Wow. Okay, so initial reactions from 260. Obviously, we'll start at the top. We've just seen Stipe Miocic get knocked out by Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou is the new UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Spoiler alert. I think going into this fight, my thoughts specifically, and I put them in another video, I didn't think the first time that they fought that Stipe could last 25 minutes without getting hit by Francis, or hit significantly enough to obviously knock him out. Then I asked myself the question, obviously I was proved wrong then. Then I asked myself the question, could Stipe go 50 minutes without being hit by Francis? Which of course, if you're good at maths, is the two fights combined. And I thought, no. There's no way they can fight for almost an hour and Francis won't land that hand. And that's what happened. Francis caught him in the second round. He caught him a few times in the first round, but Stipe caught a big overhand right just on top of the head, and he literally just looked like nothing had happened. Very impressive indeed. Then, as they went into the second round, and this was a much more reserved Francis. This was a Francis that thought, okay, I don't need to finish the fight in 30 seconds. I can take my time, I can be patient, I can wait, I can see how Stipe reacts, I can time, I don't need to rush, I don't need to finish. What we saw in the first fight was Francis rushing to finish the fight as quickly as possible, and then of course we saw what happened. Stipe accelerated and overtook and controlled Francis for the entire fight, and Francis gassed. This time Francis did not want to make the same mistake, and I guess the big turning point in the fight was in the first round when Stipe went in for a takedown after he got caught by one of Francis's shots, and Francis sprawled and controlled the head and got back up to his feet, landed a few shots on Stipe. That was the moment where we thought, okay. And it wasn't a perfect takedown attempt by Stipe by any means. It wasn't a perfect execution of the move. It was a little bit messy, but that was fine in the last fight. That was okay, and it still got the job done. It still got Francis to the floor. This time, it was the same messy sort of attack by Stipe, which I don't blame him. He just got his clock cleaned by Francis. But Francis was calm, composed, controlled the head, put his hips down, sprawled, moved to the side, level changed, hit a few shots, and then on the fight went. So that was the second sort of difference we saw from Francis. The third difference was in the finish. And when Francis came in for the finish, he landed a big shot first and Stipe went down. Stipe then came back up. Now, at that point, Francis could have swarmed Stipe before he came up, and he didn't. But then Stipe, and I love this about Stipe, I know that this was kind of what cost him the fight. Ultimately, it probably wasn't, but once he got dropped, he got straight up. He knew he was hurt, and he thought, I have to knock him out. And he went straight in to try and knock him. And he landed that right hand. And then Francis landed the biggest jab in the history of the UFC heavyweight division. And I think that's actually what that was. That was the biggest jab in the history of the heavyweight division. And knocked Stipe out with a jab. There was one follow-up shot that was elementary. It didn't need to happen. But when you're fighting for the heavyweight championship, these things do happen. So, yeah, really, really impressive victory from Francis Ngannou. And, lovely. I think after we saw that, and I think, look, the UFC, I think, isn't upset that Francis Ngannou is the heavyweight champion. And when you look back at Stipe's career, he has had such an impressive career, impressive victories, all-time title defenses in the UFC heavyweight division. He is the greatest heavyweight of all time as far as the UFC goes. Obviously, there are other arguments to be had, but they don't really stack up against Stipe's achievements in the division, regardless of who he did it against. So Stipe's legacy is not in question, but as all things happen, there's a transition, time moves on, and if you don't retire from the sport, chances are you lose or get knocked out or whatever. So now we look forward to Francis, and who he's going to fight next. Now, before this fight, it was Jon Jones, and that was the way it is. Obviously, since then, Derek Lewis knocked out Curtis Blaydes in spectacular fashion. We have seen Ngannou versus Derek Lewis once, and it was dreadful. Easily the worst fight I've ever seen. And that includes CM Punk versus Mike Jackson. It was awful. But when we went to the post-fight press conference, Dana White was asked a question about Jon Jones, and he made a joke that he should go back down to 185, which was funny, and it got a few laughs. And then Jon Jones gets on Twitter and gets all upset about it like a little child. And, you know, I just don't understand the mentality of Jon Jones. He gets involved in things sometimes that he doesn't need to get involved in, and it hurts him. It's part of the reason he's not very likeable. He might be the best mixed martial artist on the planet, but the way he behaves is so bizarre. But it was supposed to be Jon Jones, and now there's kind of Jon Jones has done all this work. He's got up to heavyweight. He's put hours in the gym, months and months and months, relinquished his light heavyweight belt that he held for 6 years or however long it is. 7, 8, I don't even know. And now he's like, well, you know, you've got to make the money right. Well, surely you thought about that before when you relinquished your title and then went on a 3, 4, 5 month fitness program, gym program, weights program, whatever you want to call it, and put on all that muscle, and now you know who the heavyweight champion is, and all of a sudden it's, no, you show me the money. Like, and even if that is the case, why are you doing that in public? Why are you not doing that with the UFC on the phone? And I liked what Dana did at the press conference, because what Dana did is look straight down the camera, like I'm doing now, and went, John, if you want to fight Francis, pick up the phone and call Hunter. Simple as that. Did Hunter's phone ring? I don't know. Hunter is the UFC's lawyer, and he's involved in all sorts of matchmaking and things like that, if you don't know who Hunter is. But so I want to know if Jon Jones did that. Did he pick the phone up? The other thing, I suppose, it probably shouldn't be on Jon Jones to make the fights, but I think this is just gamesmanship between Dana and Jon Jones, because there will be no way that they haven't spoken about this fight. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Either way, if we get Derek Lewis versus Ngannou 2, hopefully it'll be a lot, but it won't be hard to be better than the first fight. If not, Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou is the fight that we all want. How does that fight go? I don't know. Jon Jones is knockoutable. I know he hasn't been knocked out, but Francis could knock out a horse if he wanted to. So Jon Jones will need a sturdy, robust game plan going into that fight. And I guess kind of the narrative that always surrounds Jon Jones is that he doesn't knock people out. And that is true. He doesn't knock people out, whereas Francis does. So if you're asking me how that fight goes, I think Francis knocks Jon Jones out. But that remains to be seen. There's a long road to go before we get there. But as far as the UFC 260 main event goes, Francis Ngannou is the scariest human being on the planet outside of Ted Bundy.